Men will nag you if they find you attractive. It's like that saying of like, when a guy is mean to you and a boy's mean to you, it means he likes you. That is actually very true. When a guy is like actually attracted to you, intimidated by you in some type of way, they will try to humble your ass. They will try to say little things to make fun of you or like poke fun at you or just little tiny digs at you, but then laugh it off as if it's a joke. It's not a joke.
If a guy likes you, he will ignore you.
We are starting this off with a quote that should be studied in psychiatric wards across the globe. The woman in the green top literally looks into the camera and says with a straight face, if he likes you, he will ignore you forever. What the actual fuck kind of psychological gymnastics are we witnessing here? This is the absolute apex of confirmation bias. Modern dating has created an entire subculture of women who are so utterly terrified of rejection and so wildly over-entitled that they are literally rewiring their own brains to interpret a man's complete disinterest as a secret, suppressed, overwhelming obsession.
What do you mean by that? Why do they do this, you ask? Well, it is because modern female ego, heavily inflated by dating apps where they get 500 matches a day, simply cannot process the word no. They sit in their dark fantasy worlds, completely detached from reality, believing that every guy who leaves them on read is just too intimidated by their own sheer majesty to send a text. Oh, you talk about me syndrome.
Forever and ever. He'll never mess with you, not even once.
This is a textbook example of learned helplessness disguised as dating advice. By convincing herself that his silence means that he loves her, which is sad, she never has to take accountability for the fact that she might just be boring, unapproachable, or possess a shitty personality. But let's go on.
I want to live soft life.
Let's look at the absolute, indisputable reality. Biologically and sociologically, men are the pursuers. Statistically, on major dating platforms, men still initiate over 80% of the first interactions.
Here's some signs that a guy likes you, but he's ignoring you with body language. If you feel like you're getting mixed signals on whether or not this guy likes you, here are some tips and tricks on how to identify what is like versus what is dislike. One is he's going to be mirroring your body language. So he may not necessarily first come up to you when you guys are in the same proximity, like a party or a meeting. He often ends up near you, and if you look at your watch, he also looks at his watch. If you stroke your chin during the conversation, he does the same thing. He could potentially like you, but he chooses to ignore you.
If a man wants you, he will move mountains, cross state lines, and lose sleep to talk to you. If he is ignoring you forever and ever, he doesn't give a shit about you, period. By spreading this toxic garbage, women are actively engaging in self-sabotage, teaching a whole generation of younger girls to wait around for ghosts instead of moving on with grace. They are gaslighting themselves to protect their egos, and it is weird, pathetic, and deeply unhealthy.
One of the biggest lies I used to tell myself, but I thought was the truth when I was single before I got married, was men are intimidated by me. I thought because I had a house, a car, been driving BMW since I was 24 years old, I thought that because I made a lot of money, that men just couldn't handle it, they were intimidated, and they were turned off because I was doing better than them.
Why exactly are these men ignoring them? It's usually because of the exact insufferable behavior the woman in this clip is bravely calling out. Let's give a standing ovation to the woman in the floral top, because she has officially unplugged from the matrix.
Women.
That is one of the biggest lies, or the things that we think, when really the problem is us. If you find yourself saying, well, men are just intimidated by me, I make too much money, they don't like that I'm just direct and I stand up for myself. If you keep getting that kind of results from men, most likely it's not because they're intimidated, they just don't like you.
For the last decade, radical feminist dating rhetoric has brainwashed women into believing the biggest, most pathetic coping mechanism ever told, which is that men are just intimidated by my success. Really? Or your master's degree? Oh, hell freaking no. The truth is this: guys are profoundly repulsed by your combative, overbearing masculinity. Yes, we don't have to take that shit if we don't. And the woman in this clip admits that she was operating on pure, unadulterated ego. And when women enter the dating market with this hyper-competitive, aggressive energy, they aren't looking for a romantic partner. No, they are looking for an opponent to actually crush, humiliate, denigrate, humble, and break. They walk into a first date with an energy so dark and a god complex so massive that they act like Sephiroth descending from the sky to cast supernova on a dude just because he politely asked what her hobbies were.
And I'm not trying to say this to be mean or to be like nasty, but that was what I was going through. They thought I was attractive. They liked being around me, but they just weren't into me because the way that I exuded my ego. A lot of women don't realize when they make money and they have all these accomplishments, the ego drives the conversation. It drives your energy, how you carry yourself, how you interact with men, where your ego is like, well, because you're not on my level, and nobody wants to be treated like that, man or woman.
This is a glaring display of cognitive dissonance. You cannot demand that a man be a traditional provider, planner, and protector while you simultaneously try to emasculate him at the dinner table to prove how much you don't need him. These women use their financial success as a shield, employing a form of emotional, weaponized incompetence where they refuse to learn basic human grace, vulnerability, or cooperation.
I'll give you guys a perfect example. Girl with the pink dress on Pop the Balloon. A lot of people were like, oh, I like her personality. She seems funny. She seems cool. She even said she was a sweetheart. And although things can be true, that does not mean that's what's attractive to a man. Ladies, the things that we like about ourselves and the things that we like about our homegirls does not mean that men find that attractive or want that to be what they want in a relationship. And I'm not saying change who you are to appease a man, but if you're not getting the results that you want in the dating sphere and you want to be married, you have to check how you talk to people, how you treat people, the energy you have. Normally it stems from childhood. Normally it stems from being an overachiever. It stems from being somebody that's very type A. It stems from being somebody that is a perfectionist. Normally, when people are like that to themselves, they're hyper critical of other people. You tend to have this personality trait where you're very defensive, you're standoffish, you have your guard up 24/7, 365, and you don't know how to let your hair down and have fun and speak to people lightly, gracefully, then you could probably have this problem. Just do some self-reflection, sis. It might not be because he's intimidated. He might just not like you.
Men do not care how much money you make. A man's primary drivers when looking for a long-term partner are peace, cooperation, and loyalty. If you are a type A perfectionist who treats a romantic date like a Fortune 500 performance review, you are going to repel good men. Statistically, studies consistently show that marriages where the woman earns significantly more have a higher rate of divorce, and it is rarely because the man is insecure. It is often because the woman loses respect for him and brings her boardroom boss babe attitude into the living room. If you bring a sword to a date, do not act like a victim when he blocks your freaking number and leaves you talking to a wall.
Things that men tell me and other women tell me about their relationships, women's standards for themselves is in hell. It always shocks me. You what? I'm sorry, but at this point, we live in a time now where women are becoming self-made millionaires left and right. You have the option to do that. Why are you guys dating men if your standards are in hell? You need to go see a therapist. You need to go do some healing. If you were dating men.
But instead of doing the painful self-reflection that the woman in the second clip suggests, most modern women just double down on their delusions and blame the market. Which brings us to the absolute sociopathic entitlement of this video. The woman in the gray top is furious. She is practically vibrating with rage. Why? Because other women are actually finding happiness with normal, everyday guys, and it is ruining her hypergamous transactional extortion racket. She is literally angry that women's standards are in hell because she is seeing gorgeous women dating 5'3" guys with normal jobs who they actually love. This is where the mask completely slips off the radical feminist dating strategy. She doesn't view men as human beings with intrinsic value. She views them as financial utility vehicles. She claims she is a self-made millionaire and is furious that she can't find a man on her level. So she wants to bring back shame to bully other women into dumping their average earning boyfriends.
And they're like, oh, I'm a dream girl. No, girl, you're Papa John's. It's hot and ready into the door in 30 minutes. How are y'all's standards in hell? And it makes me feel like I'm crazy. Damn, how am I getting away with all the shit that I'm getting away with? Because apparently there's all these women walking around who will accept down here.
Let's drop some statistical napalm on this absolute delusion. In the United States, only about 15% of all men make over $100,000 a year. If you filter that small pool by men who are also over 6 feet tall, physically fit, single, not emotionally damaged, and in your preferred age bracket, you are looking at less than 1%.
Oh my God! This is wild. I mean, you're here screaming that women need to, increase the standard of our demographic, right? But what you're actually doing is projecting your own deep-seated terror that you have completely priced yourself out of the dating market. You are pissed off because the 1% of men that you are demanding, the tall, wealthy chats, have absolutely zero interest in a combative, aging boss babe who views her relationships as a corporate merger. And you need to understand that high-value men want peace, they want youth and femininity, not a debate partner who shames other women for being happy.
Like, that is the standard. That's what I hear more often. More often than not, women's standards, even if they're gorgeous, beautiful, whatever, their standards are in the pit of hell. That's what I hear more often. More often than not, women's standards, even if they're gorgeous, beautiful, whatever, their standards are in the pit of hell.
Hell freaking no. She calls these other women Papa Johns because they are accessible and ready. And just in case you don't know, hell freaking no, girl. Those women are grounded in reality. They understand the reality at which they are working from or working with. They are getting married, building families, and creating actual legacies with men who treat them well, regardless of their height or tax bracket. Meanwhile, you are sitting alone in front of a ring light, drowning in your own confirmation bias, demanding a statistical anomaly, and trying to gaslight your entire audience into being as miserable and lonely as you are, so that you don't feel crazy alone. You know what to say? Misery loves company. And this is an exact definition of that statement.
So I'm like, how am I getting away from asking for this when like 99% of women are asking for this shit? Y'all need to have some self-respect. I cannot believe the shit that I hear sometimes from women and from men. I will meet a man who's 5'3" and ugly and has no money, and he's dating a supermodel who pays half his rent. Like, that is what I'm seeing. And we should all hold each other accountable for that and maybe bring back shame a little bit. Bring back shame. Because we gotta increase the standard of our overall demographic. Because holy hell is it in the fucking gutter.
You need to hold yourselves accountable. Lower your ego and step back into reality. Because the men that you're shaming, whoa, they are waking up and they're walking right away. Yeah, there's a man peace epidemic. You just have to deal with that as it is. But then again, guys, what do you think about the whole thing? Are you as a guy intimidated by a successful woman? Are you intimidated by her intelligence? Are you intimidated by her master's degree? Please let us know in the comment section below, because I think a lot of girls need to understand this. But again, guys, while you're doing that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because we're just getting started. Till next time, cheers.